Hello, everybody, and good morning or good evening, depending on where you are. I'm assuming you're calling in from the US, as this is the Prife USA call. How are you, everyone? How are you guys doing? How has your week been? How has your day been? I'm so happy to be joining you here today. My name is Mugi. I'm a marketing executive at Prife International HQ in Malaysia, although I'm currently in India right now. And I'm here to talk to you guys about this, the Ion Shield. The Ion Shield has been one of Prife International's earliest products, and it fits in the idea that Prife has, where we want to bring the latest in technologies that help to improve our well-being by doing things slightly differently and regaining a control on our own well-being using technology, and by using technology allowing that to like improve our quality of life. So I'm not sure how many of you have this on with you, but we're going to go all about it. I'm going to show you guys some of the documentation we have that demonstrates how effective it is. But first, allow me to try to figure out uh the Facebook live streaming, so we can have this up on Facebook to all of our friends who would usually be tuning in on Facebook as well. Pref USA presentation, IONShield, go live. So while that's going on in the background, everybody, hi May, how are you? It has been a while. Nice to see you. Um, I don't see any other faces popping up. I'm assuming you guys are all inappropriately dressed. It's okay. We're on Zoom. It's fine. No one wears pants on Zoom. It's a thing. And yes, we're now live on Facebook. Hi, everyone on Facebook. Good evening. Welcome to Prive International USA's weekly series of online presentations, where we seek to bring you the latest in information coming out from us, Prive International, here in Malaysia, that is relevant to you guys in the US, Canada, Latin America, wherever you may be tuning in from around the world. I am currently in India. I am doing a tour of South India at the moment. It has been a non-stop series of BOPs, NDOs, trainings. It has been I I came to India on the 2nd of August, and it has been nonstop every single day since then. Just a bit of a mind-opening thing before we get into the topic of the day, which is Ion Shield. And I really want you guys to like think about this and consider this, because I've had a lot of time to reflect on this idea. So there are certain things that make certain businesses special. And we do our best when we take advantage of what makes us special. And if you ask me, what makes Price special amongst all other businesses out there is the fact that we are like a lot of companies can claim that they are an international company, and a lot of companies are international companies. But I believe that Prive is fundamentally an international business opportunity, because through the Prive back office, we have what Prive has built is a global supply chain. What Prive has created is this ability for us to have products shipped to 6 out of 7 continents. The fact that we have an active presence in 6 out of 7 continents in the world means that wherever there are people who are interested in what we have to offer, wherever there are people whose lives may be changed by the technologies that we have on hand, and if you can reach them and give them this understanding that there is this technology that could help you improve your well-being, wherever they are in the world, Prife International can satisfy that customer. We have an international supply chain. We have an ability to like handle international businesses, transactions. So as people, as you guys, as members of Prife International, as members of our family around the world, wherever in the world you can find people interested in what we have to offer, be that the Ion Shield that we're going to talk about soon, very quickly, or be that any of our other technologies, we have an ability to serve that customer for you. And you'll be surprised by the number of people whose lives can change by what we have to offer. One of the most interesting experiences I've had here in India, I'm currently in a town, in a city, I suppose, called Palani, Palani. And in Palani, there is a doctor, an actual medical doctor couple who have discovered the iTerra care. And this doctor has built pretty much an entire two-story clinic where patients can come in, stay, and he offers them like relief from their discomfort by using our products as a form of therapeutic approach. And I found that very interesting because when I hear his stories, it really makes me realize that what regardless of what we may think of a country's economic situation, regardless of what we may think, regardless of our own preconceived notions of like markets and market capacities, the fact is that there are still so many people around the world whose lives are just changed tremendously by the technologies that we have to offer, that it has really made me think that in just informing people that this is what we have is in and of itself a blessing. Whatever they do with that information, whatever they choose to do with that, with the understanding that now we have technologies that can improve your well-being in such ways, just letting them know it's a thing. It's kind of equivalent to like being in the dark and not knowing that flashlights exist. Like living in this world with this environment, with this lifestyle, with this kind of like um with this bodily experience that we have in experiencing the world around us, not knowing that technologies like what we have to offer exist is equivalent to living in a dark place and not knowing that flashlights are a thing. And on that note, on the notes of how much technologies can change lives, let's segue cutely into the topic on hand today, which is the Ion Shield. The Ion Shield is a product that Prife International has had to offer. It has been one of our earliest offerings right there along with the iTerra Care product series. And in every country that we're operating in, we have the iTerra Care product series. We also have this, the Ion Shield. So there's been a lot of like popular misconceptions about what this is. I get people approaching me a lot asking me if this is like a little camera that I wear on my neck, like a little CCTV thing. Some people ask me like, what is this? Is it like an air purifier? And a lot of people have the idea of air purifiers being like massive things, and they're like, how can you fit a whole thing on a chain around your neck, stuff like that. So that's what we're going to go into. And no, technically, the Ion Shield is not an air purifier. Let's get into it. So I'm going to flip through a couple slides, and it may or may not be because I did not put these two slides together into one slide. So I'm going to be flipping through both of them to show you some information, because what I have is not only Prife's slide, but I also found some information from MLS, the manufacturer, where they document a lot of the testing and certification and verification that they had gone through to get this product certified. And yes, me, Ion Shield is definitely a conversation starter. It's kind of cool to just like wear this out and like wear it around, and it does attract a lot of attention. Well, let's get into the slides. And I'm going to talk about all of this. And afterwards, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to open it up for some Q&A. And then we can talk about how we can effectively use the Ion Shield. And then at the end, I'll spend a little bit of time talking about how the Ion Shield can effectively be a part of your business strategizing. So with all that said, let's get into it. This is the Ion Shield. Like if you don't look at it too closely, and yes, I know it's getting blurry. So if you don't look at it too closely, it could just look like a round medallion, but it is in fact not perfectly round. It is shaped in a way that there is a nozzle at the top here that releases something. I'm going to get into that later. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but the whole point of wearing this is that you wear this outside your clothes, not inside your clothes. It is not like it's not like a medallion that you wear around your neck that you can wear like inside your clothes. It's not an energy style product that you need to have with having skin contact on you. That's not how this works. Where this needs to go is at the top layer of your clothes outside everything that you're wearing with like the way it is designed. I'm gonna like drop it down a little bit. The way it is designed with the chain and the length of the chain, it's so it is sitting like approximately, I want to say about 10 to 15 centimeters, or like maybe like around 5, 6 inches from your nose and your mouth, with the nozzle tip here pointing up. You see the way the people are wearing it, and you see the way it is supposed to sit. So even if you do change the chain to something a little bit more aesthetic to your liking, you're supposed to wear it like roughly hanging from here, not too high that is too close to your neck, and not too low that is hanging too low to be effective, but pretty much from like a 5 inch, 5 to 6 inch distance from your entire breathing area. And why that is because what this device is, and I'll kind of like spoil the surprise a little bit. This is a negative ion generator that every second is pumping out 60 million units of negative ions constantly. So why do we need something like this? Why do we need a negative ion generator like hanging off our neck? Because one of the things that we cannot deny, and I know like this is a bit, it's something that we repeat all the time, but it is true, and it is something to be extremely cognizant of, that this human body has not been designed to live in such terrible conditions. Like, we are creatures of nature, and therefore we should be living in nature. We have human bodies that are designed to coexist with nature. We have lungs that are designed to extract oxygen from the air that we breathe. And the air that we breathe has always been air that has been good for us to breathe until very recently. To be honest, ever since the industrial age kind of kicked off and we figured out how to like turbocharge pollution, not not directly, but the indirect effect of all of these technological developments has been that the air that we breathe is polluted. And the definition of pollutions is not a vague definition. There's a very critical definition where there's like particles of certain sizes that exist in the air that are small enough that they can enter our lungs and pretty much just like inflame our throats, inflame our breathing areas, get stuck in our lungs, affect the quality of our breath, affect the if the pollution in the air has a very direct effect on the quality of the air that we breathe, our breathing cycles, and the pollution is something that is incredibly damaging to our bodies. And that is not even talking about the bacteria and viruses that also live in the air as well. And the difference between a traditional air purifiers and a negative ion generator is that this is something that is meant to be portable and is something that you wear on you. And I'm going to get to what it does and why it does what it does in a bit. But the advantage of having something like this around your neck is that it's compact, it's portable. So maybe just to give you guys the kind of a brief visualization on how this works. So we have documentation that I'm going to show you later that we have that this is the negative ion generator. And when measured at a 3 centimeter or 1 inch distance from the tip of the nozzle here, has the negative ion capacity of 60 million units uh, of negative ions coming out of this. So 60 million units coming out from the nozzle, by the time it comes out and it goes further, it kind of spreads out into like basically a fan shape. You can just imagine that just spreading out in front of you. So effectively, 1 inch above this is like 60 million units of negative ions. And as that comes up, it forms pretty much like a virtual curtain of negative ions, negative ions, giving us all the benefits of having a high quantity of negative ions in the air that we breathe, as we see when we are out in nature, like if we're out in the jungles, we're out in the mountains, we're out in a very natural area, it has a very high concentration of negative ions in the air. Now we get to bring that around with us. It's kind of like bringing around like air from nature, like air from the woods, air from the jungle, air from the waterfalls. Like it's bringing along a high concentration of negative ions wherever you go, infusing that into the air that you breathe, that goes into your nose, that goes into your mouth, that goes into your lungs. That's the first thing. The second thing is that negative ions have a very direct and powerful effect in filtering out all of the bacteria and viruses that live in the air, along with all of the pollutants as well. And as a result of it forming like this fan, this curtain of negative ions at and around your nose and mouth, it pretty much acts like a virtual mask, as we like to call it. And that has a very direct effect of making sure that nothing unwanted goes into your breathing systems. And that is something that can protect you if A, you're not a big fan of wearing masks. Like no one likes to visually appear muzzled. Maybe you find that your breathing is restricted as a result of wearing masks. But at the same time, we can't get away from the fact that like whatever the politics or idea or the culture behind wearing masks, we can't deny that the air that we breathe right now is fundamentally polluted. So whether or not you believe in like social distancing or masking as a way to protect one another, it is definitely important to be able to carry around a portable air filter to filter out the air that we breathe, to filter out at least the pollutants in the air, if not also the viruses and bacteria that also exist. So this is just a way, in the same way series is a way for us to bring around sunlight in a wand, and our oxytap is a way for us to bring around oxygenated water in a portable thing. This is a way for us to bring like the air that we get from nature, air with a very high concentration of negative ions, in a way that is portable and that can be on our body at all times. So, 8 hour, this is a product that you need to charge. Like the newer versions come with a USB Type C charging port, which is super convenient. The slightly the first generation models, like the one that I have, come with a magnetic charging cloth that you have to like magnetically stick onto the back of it and then plug it into the wall. So you have to charge it because generating negative ions is like an actual electronic process that is going on here. If you put this to your ears, and I can't quite do it for you guys, but if you guys have one and you put it to your ears while it's turned on, you can hear this really faint, like kind of sound. And every that is like 60 million units of negative ions coming out. So that constant generation of negative ions is what creates that little like fan mask shape in front of your face. And this concentration of negative ion thing, I mean, this thing weighs 10 grams. But on the topic of the concentration of negative ions, here's where I'm going to switch into this other set of slides, just so I can show you guys uh, this thing. And let me find that. Okay, so these are some slides and some documentation that I managed to get from like one of our first generation of slides. This is some documentation that came from the manufacturer. So according to their own analysis and test result, the negative ion concentration measured 3 centimeters or an inch in freedom units. An inch away from the tip here gives you 60 million units of negative ions. And therefore, as you can imagine, if we're measuring 60 million units here, just an inch from the tip of the nozzle, as it comes up and fans out, it's gonna like disperse a little bit, but as it comes up and fans out, there's still like an effective quantity of like 40 to 60 million some units of negative ions that are constantly being refreshed as the curtain in front of your face. And they've done like negative ion testing counts, videos where this video is actually really interesting because they're actually trying to do that count live and where they can show you that the units being read is like 60 million units of negative ions. Video's like a minute long. I'm just gonna like skip ahead a little bit. And this is a very interesting one. So one of the things that negative ions do is that they help to filter out and remove the particulates in the air. And one of these really like quick and cute ways that you can test it is by taking like a glass or something like this and filling it up with smoke from like a cigarette or something like that. If you guys smoke or like any like smoke, like particulate filled smoke, and then you put it upside down around an ion shield. You guys see the ion shield over here in this video, like over here. So here's like this glass filled with smoke, and they're gonna put it over the ion shield. And as it's turned on, you can see that the effect that it has in like clearing out the particulates in the air is pretty quick. And I'm gonna like fast forward here because this is a minute long video. But as you guys can see, as I'm fast forwarding this, da-da-da, the amount of smoke that you see, it does take a bit of time. Like this is like at 45 seconds. So at the 42-second point of them doing this, it has pretty much cleared out almost all of the smoke that you can see in that glass. So now we're gonna go back to like our slides because the other ones are have a lot of information in Chinese. Those are from the manufacturer. So okay, we're back here. So as the ion shield emits 60 million units of negative ions, it kind of fans out in front of our face, forming like this virtual curtain of negative ions that A, filter out the particulates in the air that pass through the curtain, B, filter out like the viruses or bacteria or anything else that could be in the air coming through, and C, also directly inputting negative ions into the air that we breathe. And we get all of this in a stylish looking pendant. I think it's pretty stylish. It looks like a cool Iron Man inspired thing. It only weighs 10 grams and you get to have it on you. So the ion shield uses the built-in carbon brush system to release negative ions into the air. And these negative ions, as you can see here, attach to small particles in the air, giving them a negative charge, which are then attracted to surfaces with a positive charge, causing them to clump together and settle on other surfaces as opposed to being free and loose and then being inhaled into our lungs. And it weighs 10 grams, it's lightweight and portable, meaning that you can wear this on top of any clothes that you wear, regardless of the temperature, regardless of what you have on, you can just have this on top of all of your clothes. And what did it say? It's like breathing in forest air, so to speak. I mean, uh, negative ion concentrations are the highest in natural places, waterfalls, jungles, forests, places without a lot of human activity, places in nature. And if you think about it, it's kind of sad that we have to like have this definition of a place in nature because I guess before the Industrial Revolution or before civilization really picked up the way it did, every single place in the world was a place in nature because we were creatures of nature. But that's not the way it is anymore. And by having like an electronic mask like the IONShield pendant, it uses the same concept of negative ions and the same quality of air that you get in nature by having a high concentration of negative ions and using that to eliminate harmful particles such as particulate matter with sizes of less than 2.5 microns, secondhand smoke, staphylococcus, and other types of bacteria and viruses. And again, with Prife's idea of bringing in the latest in technological innovations that improve our well-being and also making them really accessible and easy to use by the consumer, the same way how we've managed to incorporate like terahertz technology into a wand that just has an on-off button similar to a flashlight. I mean, a on-off button with settings, but like similar to a flashlight in the sense that it is so easy to use, just like a flashlight. Even this is something that has a very simple operational thing. It just has like this tiny little button at the bottom. And if you press and hold, the light goes away and it's turned off and it's no longer generating negative ions. Now it's just like this fancy pendant that you wear. But you press the button, the light comes on, you turn it on, and now it is constantly generating 60 million units of negative ions every second, forming a curtain in front of your face, protecting your breathing and therefore your well-being. Simple operations, but tremendous effects. Also, it's like super silent, like even that tiny noise that I described that you can hear of its operation, you got to put it like really close to your ears to like really hear it. And in all other times, you can barely hear, you cannot hear at all what like the fact that it is working. And this is the features of the product. The features are very minimal because it's designed with a very minimalist design philosophy. We just want it to be something cool that you put on that you forget about, and then it just works. And the only real features on this, other than the charging thing at the back, is that one button at the bottom that everyone can use. Like you can even like put this on your kids, and your kids can know to just like press and hold the button, and it has this negative ion outlet at the top, which, as I've repeated multiple times at this point, I'm sure you guys have 60 million stuck in your head at this point, but this negative ion outlet eliminates, and say it with me, 60, this negative ion air outlet puts out, and say it with me, 60 million units of negative ions every second. And it is also has what we would consider a sophisticated appearance. It's cute, it's small, it's round, it's compact, it's fashionable, it's made with like environmentally safe material. The finishing is quite fine. It ships with this silver chain, or like sorry, it ships with this stainless steel chain buckle. Correct me, I stand corrected. Food grade, fine finishing. So it's pretty comfortable to wear it. Like I don't like to have this on my skin on a personal level. I prefer to put it like outside my clothes. And it should be sitting outside your clothes anyway. But in case you're not wearing a shirt or you're wearing like a crop top or something, then you can just also have this on your neck. Wait, where is it? There we go. On your neck, hanging down like so. The whole point is that you want this on the outside layer without anything on top of it. And you want it to be like about 5 inches, 4 or 5 inches from your nose and your mouth. This is a really great gift that you can give to people. It's something that's very unique. It has like really cute packaging. It looks very interesting. And this is something that is a really easy to use gift that you can even gift someone because it's not something that they have to use. Like the Itera Care, the effectivity of the product comes with daily use, right? And daily use implies someone actually picking it up and like moving it all over their body. And something like the Bio and BioLite is like a lot easier to use. You just gotta like sit down and like stick your feet in it. But at the same time, it's also like not as portable. You can't really quite like bring it around everywhere, use it in your car, for example. But the ion shield and its ability to like safeguard the air that you breathe in, this is something that you can just wear around your neck and forget. And this is a bit of a personal testimonial. Like I have been wearing this every day that I've been in India, and every country suffers from like pollution problems and like pollutants in the air and so on. India is no different than every other country out there in this world. It's just a fact of nature at this point. But as I keep it on, as I wear it every day, I can actually feel that I've been here for about 20 days now, and it has been like a real shock to my system. Like 20 days of like breathing in differently polluted air and air with different viruses and bacteria than the air back home that I'm used to. And I would be a person who kind of like gets a bit fluish sometimes quite quickly. Like I have very quick reactions to like pollutants in the air. But every time I have this on, I can really feel like the air that I breathe is somehow like a cleaner air than maybe the air that I would be experiencing if I did not have the iron shield on at all. I feel like it does play a very active role in like protecting the quality of the air that I breathe. And that's a good thing. We want to because we can't really quite be sure how is the quality of air anywhere that we go these days, even if the air looks clean and unpolluted, even if you can't see the particulates in the air so visibly as you can see in some places in the world, the air out there is still filled with so many like harmful stuff, bacteria, viruses, dust, pollution, that having something that is so portable that you can have on you constantly is just the way to like protect your health and protect your breathing. It is definitely the best way for you to have a kind of active protection going on to safeguard your breathing and what goes into your lungs and into your body. So that is the presentation of the Ion Shield, and I'm going to have it open for a couple of questions. But before I have it open to a couple of questions, I just want to like plant a few seeds in your minds and see how we can incorporate the Iron Shield into not only our business development, but also for whatever that we do here in Prife, which also includes safeguarding not just our well-being, but the well-being of others as well. In terms of how you can use this for your business, Ion Shield. So I mentioned this in the beginning, and for those of you who came in slightly late, allow me to like repeat myself a little bit. I think that Prife International's like biggest advantage in this industry is the fact that Prife International has the is not just an international company, it is also truly an international business opportunity for all of our independent business owners out there around the world. Even though we operate in different countries under different subsidiaries, like for example, Prife International in India is operating under our official subsidiary, Terahertz Care India Private Limited, and not as Prife, or the way we're operating in Indonesia as PT Sina Sejahtera, etc. So we have different subsidiaries that we operate through to make sure that we have a global presence. However, the products that we have are available around the world, and these global markets are accessible to you, our independent business owners. And not every product is in every market, but the core products that we tend to move into every single country that we operate in is the iTerra Care blowers as our flagship, and also in most, if not all countries, the IONShield. For example, in India right now, the only products we of our company that we have available are the iTerra Care series, known here as the Terahertz Care series, and the IONShield. So the IONShield as a product is available in every country that we are in. And Prife International's biggest advantage is that we have a global supply chain. So traditional methods of operating within this industry has been to just look at whatever products are available in your local geographic area, talking to the people actually around you, and giving them what you have available in your area. But because Prife International has been designed to be a global business for all of our IBOs from the first day that you guys join in as members of this company. Maybe if we can think outside the box a little bit and understand that the role of an IBO in any kind of direct sale company has been to do the advertising that the company does not do in order to have these products be known to members of the general public. And yes, I suppose in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we would be focusing on on the people around us, because those are the people we can talk to and we can prove stuff for, we can demonstrate stuff and all of that. But today in 2024, thanks to the power of social media, thanks to the internet, thanks to this huge interconnected globe that we all live in, anything, any kind of message, any kind of content, any kind of advertising that you put out has a much, much, much larger audience compared to just the people in your local geographic vicinity. Thing that you put out can be seen by people everywhere in the world. And therefore, as a result, if you use the IONShield, if you like the IONShield, and you make content about the IONShield, and you make any kind of material that acts as your own marketing communication regarding the IONShield, and you manage to have these be shared around the world, wherever in the world there is someone interested in picking up an IONShield from you, or as a result of you talking about it, my friends, like us, we at Prife International, you can be sitting at home, wherever you are. You can just be sitting at home on your bed, like watching YouTube on your phone, pull up our back office, pricevip.com, go in, and whichever country that you select the registration to be in, that stockist will just send the product to them. And as a result, you will get the income in your back office. So Prife International has truly created a global market for all members of our company to be able to take advantage of and find interested people around the world. And this is actually something that requires a different paradigm to look through as opposed to just the traditional ways of doing this business. Where if you really understand and acknowledge that what we have here is a global opportunity, and you just start making content and just flooding the world with the material that you have, talking about what we have to offer, and you can find a customer anywhere in the world, we can serve them for you. And one of our products that we have everywhere in the world is the Ion Shield, which as we've just seen, is something that is absolutely vital and necessary to live a clean, healthy life in this day and age. Because air everywhere, like the air everywhere in the world used to be clean, and now we think of clean air as pockets, like as the pockets of clean air that exist deep in nature. But we don't live deep in nature anymore. We live in an urban environment where this has become an absolute need. And if you're the kind of person who really does not like to wear a mask, if you don't like the symbology of a mask, if you just don't find masks comfortable, now thanks to technology, you can still have the same level of, if not higher, deeper protection from the air that we breathe in while not having to wear a piece of cloth around your face like a caveman, but just using technology to achieve the same effect. And again, just as a closing statement here, this needs to be worn outside our clothes at the top layer. This needs to be charged, obviously. If this is not turned on, this is not a piece of technology. This is a paperweight. It's a 10-gram paperweight, but it's like a cute pendant that you wear. This needs to be charged, turned on, and worn in order to give you active protection in the air that you breathe in. So, with that, I would like to conclude my presentation about the Ion Shield. Thank you, everyone, all 36 of you here on Zoom, and unknown number of you guys on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. Now, I would like to open up the floor for questions, comments, jokes. Maybe you saw a cute bird this morning. You want to tell me about it. Haven't heard your voices in a while. So that's the end of my presentation. I now have it open to questions. Thank you, iPad 00000. You're welcome. Um, you guys can shoot any questions that you'd like, or just say hi. Hi, May.
Hi, Mugi. Thank you very much for the presentation. I lost you for a couple of minutes there. I got internet issues. Yeah,
No worries.
I don't know if you mentioned, but I missed that. What until what time is the expiration for our Iron Shield?
Uh, the ex what do you like the product lifetime, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, and until when that it can give out these negative ions?
Yes. Okay. So, from my understanding and from everything that I've heard from the company and from the manufacturer, this is not a device that like wears out. Similar to our iTerracare devices, they have the basic lifetime of any modern piece of electronic technology. And as long as you don't like soak this in water, get it wet, get it too hot, if you keep it within like regular use cases, even the first generation ones, like the ones that I have that came out in 2021, are still very are still very effective. In terms of product lifetime, we can safely put it as like the lifetime of any standard pieces of technology. If it stops working, you'll know. If it stops working, the light will go off and then it is no longer functional. If you put it to your ears
No
and you no
sound.
longer hear that little pump working, it's no longer working. All of our products are covered by a 1-year manufacturer warranty. So if anything does go wrong with your Iron Shield within the first year, send it back to us and we'll send you a new one. But other than that, we have not yet started to receive reports of products failing from age. And given the age of our company, which is only 3 years old, and the manufacturer's documentation that the products should last 5, 7 years, I think it's a I think that's a good figure to have. We have a question here from Marla who has asked about whether extreme heat or cold affects the ion shield. And I want to say that only as far as extreme heat or cold can affect other pieces of technology. These are made for like a standard. These are made with like standard electronic standards, I suppose. Like these are not made to withstand extreme heat or extreme cold. These were not designed to like survive extreme temperatures. The box, which I do not have access to at the moment, unfortunately, may or may not have like your regular temperature ranges, but I think it should fall just the same as any other electronics. I do know that electronics fail at extreme temperatures, so that's something to keep in mind. Uh, how long it takes to be charged? Well, like I showed in the slide, it just takes like less than an hour for a full charge, and then it's gonna last you pretty much the whole day. You can't overcharge it, uh overcharging it, like, because once it gets full, the charging function like turns off. It's kind of like your cell phone. So the moment it hits like a full charge, it will automatically stop charging, so there's no way to overcharge the device, and then it starts to like drain charge as you use it. And by the end of a day, like 8 hours ish of use, instead of a white LED in the middle, you'll see like a blinking red LED. And I don't know if you guys know Ultraman. Like when I was a kid growing up here in Malaysia, Ultraman was like a TV character. And the whole thing about Ultraman is that when he gets weak, he gets like a little like red light blinking in the middle of his chest. So this always reminds me of Ultraman and makes me laugh, but also a reminder for me to like keep it charged, because as with every other piece of technology, it only works when it has like electricity inside it. Without charge, this is just a overpriced pendant that looks cute and pretty. But with charge, this is active protection for your breathing. The Ion Shield would be an absolute great help for someone who has asthma and for any kind of like breathing related issues, because negative ions help with the oxygen intake. There's a lot of like documentation for the effects of negative ions on the body. And there was a time when, before we understood that the effects are caused by negative ions in the air, there was a time before we had this level of like scientific understanding that doctors would prescribe some time in the countryside, some time in nature, as a part of their medical treatments for people. And they may not have known back then that the reason why we go to nature for health is because of the negative ions, but we know that now. And knowing that, we've managed to put that into a little piece of technology that we can now carry with us all the time. It is 109 degrees in Texas tomorrow. That sounds really, really hot. So, oh my God, it is actually very hot. I had to convert it to Celsius because I stopped thinking in Fahrenheit. But that is 43 degrees Celsius. That is insane hot. So stay cool, stay hydrated, don't leave electronics out in the hot sun. Um, and take care of yourself. Stay hydrated, definitely. Stay in the shade. Don't get overheated. It's the thing. The world is warming up, I suppose, and I don't think there's much any of us can do about it, I suppose. I suppose the next invention I'm looking for is like portable air conditioning units that we can like wear around us and have like cold air come out. But until we get portable air conditioning units, the Ion Shield helps at least in terms of the air that we breathe in. Stay hydrated with charged water, definitely. Drink a ton of water. Don't forget to give extra water to your pets. And if you live out by some nature, if you have a garden, you can also leave like a tiny little bottle cap of water in your garden, and that can help to like hydrate some of the tiny little creatures like the bugs and the butterflies and the bees. Bees, especially bees, can get hydrated very quickly. So if you leave like tiny little bottle cap filled with water in your garden that can help to hydrate the rest of nature as well. There's a question here from Joff. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Joff. Is there a way for us to check if the device is still working, even if the light or the indicator light is on, but the device is not emitting a negative ions? Well, there are negative ion detected things that you can buy. I know that we have one in HQ, and when we talk about the IONShield in HQ, we use like the negative ion detector thing to like detect the amount of negative ions coming out from it. Something like that as a detector could be useful to indicate that it is still producing negative ions. Uh, but other than having negative ion testers, the only way to like ensure or check on the quantity of negative ions would be to have it like tested in a lab. So from our understanding from the manufacturer and based on the manufacturer's experience, the way the device is designed, that if the negative ion generator is not functional, the light would turn off. So because all the electronics are like connected in a circuit. So if anything going wrong with the electronics, then you would see that the device is not functional. You can hear that the device is not functional, and to just like have and to prove or see that it is generating negative ions, you can use negative ion testing devices. Okay. Um, we have about 5 more minutes. Any other questions, anyone? We're open for questions. We're open for jokes. Also, what how to buy negative ion testers? Hi, Mrs. Wong. You can buy negative ion testers on the internet. So like Google negative ion testers and like click a few links and you can pick it up definitely. Same like with the Oxytab, which we can you can buy like dissolved oxygen meters, etc. All of this stuff you can pick up like online. We do not carry like Prife branded negative ion detectors, but we carry Prife branded negative ion emitters. So this is what is really useful for you. I will be back in Malaysia on the 26th of August. Oh, wait, sorry, that was a direct message to me. How much does it cost? The pricing is different in every country, and you can see the pricing of it in the back office. And as I'm talking, I am like super quickly opening up the back office to check the pricing in the US. And if you'll give me a minute while the back office loads, or if anyone else knows the answer of how much it costs in the US, do drop it in the chat. But as I'm waiting for the back office to load, I'm gonna check it really quickly as well. United States. Let's see. Hang on, give me a second. It is 370 US dollars in the US. Not all of our it's 370 according to the back office that I'm looking at right now. Uh Not all of our stockists carry the Ion Shield. So if you see if you don't see the Ion Shield in your first choice of stockists in the US, then just go through the list, look through a couple others more, and you see some of them who would have the Ion Shield. So the Ion Shield is available in the US through our stockists. Not all those stockists carry the Ion Shield, so you may need to like look around for it. But once you find one, then just get them and use them. Um, I like the suggestion of the gold or silver color ion shield, just like the scalar bangle, that would make everything matchy matchy and would be very cute. But I suppose if you have a silver, where's my scalar bangle? I'm living out of hotels for like the last month pretty much. My scalar bangle is somewhere in this hotel room. Mine's gold. So I suppose if I have a silver one, it could like be matchy matchy with the silver chain. I went with white because like as the color that I chose for my iron shield, because I think white goes with everything, and it also kind of like stands out. You have some color options. Blue is available as a color. That's like a matte silver looking color as well. So you can even buy one color for every iron shield that we have available and just have like this collection of different colors that you can then choose to accessorize with whatever you're wearing on that day. So this is something fun that you can do as well, have a little collection. May has something like that, I believe. I remember you telling me about it. You have every color of the ion shield. Look at that. May has shared an image in the slides. Uh, just so everyone, even people on Facebook can see it, I'm gonna just share it real quick. This is May's personal collection of ion shields. They come in different colors. They're all shiny. They're all pretty. So it is like for your protection for your well-being in a really stylish and cool way. So that's something that you guys can do as well. Treasured gems. So, all right, on that note, we have reached the end of the hour. Thank you everybody for tuning in with me on this call. I hope I've managed to answer most, if not all, of your questions about the Ion Shield. You're welcome, Marjorie. I'm here for all of you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to if you guys want to buy this and you're not already a member of the Prife family, then ask the person who sent you this link. They're going to be able to help you pick one up. And if you're already a member of, oh, here it is. I just found it. Look, I found my bangle. So, and if you're a member of Prife and you don't yet have the Ion Shield, pick one up and wear it. It's one of those things where it's one of those things that for me at least the effect is easier seen when I don't have it. When I don't have my iron shield on me all the time, then I kind of I get the sniffles very easily. I get a little bit sick. I get a little bit sick very quickly. If I'm walking around in the city all day, then by the time I come home, I'm just like hacking up phlegm that has like dust on it. It's a very negative experience just surviving in this world, especially if you live in a urban city, especially unfortunately also if you live in an urban Asian city that has like different standards for permittable permissible pollution in the air. So having one of these on you, for me in India, it makes me feel safe walking around, definitely in terms of like the quality of the air that I breathe in. It's really different without it. It's one of those things where the value is realized without it. Just like I suppose relationships. So yes, Marla, but the chain is made out of a food grade stainless steel material. So you can also change the chain as long as you keep it hanging at roughly the same distance. All right, with that, I would like to end this call. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Do remember to tune in next week on the 20th. My colleague, Miss Jeanette, is going to be sharing her perspectives on frequency and wellness, and that's going to be really interesting as well. Here in Malaysia, we love all of our members at IBOs around the world. We are here to support every single IBO around the world, whether directly face to face or indirectly on Zoom by giving all of you the information, the material, and everything that you need for you to not only have benefits for yourself, but also for the changes that you can create in the world around you. And together, we can use technology to overcome the increasingly dismal realities of the world that we live in. Remember to give yourself sunlight, give yourself grounding, give yourself oxygenation, and protect your breathing with Ion Shield. Thank you, everyone. See you again soon. Very hope. Goodbye. Bye bye bye.